WAOH is brought to you in part by Ohio's #1 trusted real estate team, The Young Team, online at theyoungteam.com.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the program. And of course, our mission here at WAOH is to serve the community and bring to our audience the great people, great things, doing things to make Akron a better place. And we're spotlighting Summit County Children's Services right now and talking about the idea of fostering, becoming a foster parent. And joining us on the set right now is Beth, who works at Summit County Children's Services, and you have the role of supervising all of the caseworkers and making sure that all of the foster families, foster parents are properly licensed, that they maintain credentials, and all of that goes into that. Describe what the process is to become a foster parent.
So when you become a foster parent or you're interested, you do an inquiry online or you call our inquiry line, and then you are directed to like an information meeting. So we hold information meetings over Zoom so that people can get their questions answered. We give sort of the basic process. And then at that point, when that is completed, if you're interested in moving forward, then you are connected to our training department where you start the foster parent training. From when you're done with training, you're then referred back to me, and we assign someone to do the home study. We start collecting the paperwork, we get the application, and sort of walk you through the process. Then you're assigned to somebody who comes out to your home to do your home study. Interviews, lots and lots of paperwork. Paperwork can be frustrating, but we try to help families get stuff that they might not have or might not know how to get. We do fingerprints, background checks, interview everybody that's in the home. If any adult that's in the home has to go through the background check process. But we do much more specific and in-depth interviews with the people in the home that are going to be the primary caregivers. Once all that is completed, and it's really a process of you learning what it is that's needed, how it all works. And some people self-select out and say, this isn't for me. And other people start out saying they want something very specific, and then they end up expanding their horizons and doing all kinds of things for us. Then you're ready for placements.
From the time that someone would first inquire, maybe, and it could be a single person, it could be a family, it could be really the program is open. And the idea is, how long does it typically take? I know there's no typical, but how long is the process from first inquiring to going through all of the training? Could it be 6 months? Could it be a year? And maybe somebody might just inquire and then think about it, and then maybe a year or two later. But what's the typical process in terms of timeline?
Yeah, so it's pretty typical for people to talk to somebody, come to an information meeting, do those kinds of things, and then hold off and come back. So some people's journey to even starting the home study process is several years. Some people, have a personal connection and they do the inquiry. And if you do the inquiry and do the training and have an open schedule to meet with the assessor and gather all your paperwork, it can happen in 3 to 4 months. But typical is just under about 6 months. And sometimes it takes longer. But the longer you take to get your information together and turn in your paperwork, your training starts to expire because it has to be done within a certain amount of time. And so that can extend things as well. But, for the typical person who's able to provide everything that's needed, under 6 months.
Could you describe for us the very basic requirements? Before you inquire about being a foster parent, you should at least have this in place, or what are the very basic requirements? And then we'll speak to what might be the optimal situation, or somebody that is again, nothing is typical,
sure,
something that's really the right fit because of whatever circumstances.
Really, the basic requirement is just a self-sufficient adult that can pay their own bills and manage their own life. You can be single, you can be married, you can be just co-parents. It really doesn't matter. You can have any living situation that is safe and appropriate. So it can be an apartment or a mobile home or renting a house or owning your home, or it doesn't matter. You can have just a 2-bedroom apartment with just one space available, or you can have, a 5-bedroom home with a bunch of spaces available. We really are in need of any of that. But basic is you can pass the background check and you can pay your own bills.
Can you name a couple of things that might really rule somebody out, or you say that somebody could decide this isn't for me because I own a motorcycle and I like to take long motorcycle trips? That person, anything that jumps out at you is, well, think it through.
So really anybody has their own interests. And so you have to decide, how do you make those interests work as a foster parent? So, you can have alternate caregivers, you can make other arrangements to get those kind of things in. You don't have to give up your life, you just have to rearrange your life.
Sure. Take us through the schedule for training, or the idea of classes or coaching, or there's probably a lot of learning that takes place, and the idea of doing all that and maintaining the credentials.
Yeah, so initially, it's about 26 hours when you add in CPR and first aid and information meetings and everything, but we do have the option for that to be 100% virtual. So folks can do that from home. It is live instructors and other participants, so you still have that, that interaction with everybody, but it can be virtual, or you can do it in person. So it's, people have a preference. We run both kinds of schedules. It could also be a combination of those two. So the training, we do everything we can to make it convenient. We take, polls from our families to find out what's a good time of day. So we have stuff all the way from, morning to afternoon to dinner time, till some that don't start till 7 or 8 p.m. so that folks can get what they need. They can get all those requirements in, but they can get it when it's convenient for them.
Is it possible that to do work, respite care or temporary placement, not everybody that goes through the process takes a permanent placement?
Sure.
You do have candidates that come in and go through this process and do respite care or temporary placement in emergency situations. Though there's a need for that too.
Oh, there's a definite need. So the reality is the majority of our placements are emergency placements.
Sure.
And we don't really know how long they're going to be there. It could be overnight. It could be a few days, or it could end up being long-term. So we really need families who can be flexible with that and sort of go with what the need is, and then, figure out how to meet that need as you go. We definitely need families for just respite care because they can do respite for each other. So some of our families don't take placements per se, but they'll do a respite for a family who's, going on a 2-week vacation, or a single parent who has a business trip, or those sort of things. So then they can fill in that gap for the families that are doing that long-term placement. So we have a need for both.
I'll end with this question, which might seem a little out there, but is it possible to become certified but then not take a placement right away, or still consider it? In other words, this class, the training, the process might have some benefit in learning something new.
Sure.
And adding to your, you might benefit from a parenting class just because.
Yeah.
Is it possible to encourage somebody watching to just come in and learn and become certified, and perhaps at that point you really become educated whether or not this is right for you in your life? But there's nothing wrong with just looking into it and maybe adding to your skill set and your resume. Just come in and learn.
Sure, that's what the whole process is about. The training, the home study, it's about that mutual discussion to really understand what it is that you're getting into, what it is that you are willing to do, the age of children that you're going to be good with, the space that you have in your home based on rules. Maybe you can only take one child at a time. Maybe you can take a sibling group, which we have a great need for. But there's absolutely taking the classes, if you never do anything else with it, is going to be personally beneficial. But most of our families that really get into that process do end up getting licensed.
Sure.
And, they come in, a lot of folks come in wanting to be a parent. And then after they take the training and do all this thing, then they realize it's not for themselves. They're not being a parent. They're not feeling that need to be a parent, but they're feeling the need of a child that needs a parent. So there's a difference between wanting to be a parent and wanting to parent a child. One is for yourself and one is for the child.
Well worth looking into. Absolutely. Thank you for sharing and educating us and our audience here. And thank you for watching. And again, we would encourage you, if you are moved or inspired to learn, to expand your horizons, to maybe look into something that is absolutely worthwhile if you are moved to be a parent to a child. Look into Summit County Children's Services. There's a great need for foster parents here in the Akron and Summit County area. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the next one.